What's up, Authentic fam? We are back again. We got so much stuff going on. We got to figure out where to look. We're like,
Yeah, we just set up all of this and we got the camera literally in front of the screen. Actually, if you look, check this out. If you look right there, that's the camera facing us. And the autofocus is a little bit, it's figuring out what it needs to do with the lighting. So
that's what demos are all about.
exactly.
All right, guys. So I told you that we were going to be starting a whole new show format, a new way to do things. So we're knocking out the kinks. I want to introduce you to my boy, Josh. We met just recently.
Pleasure.
And it turns out we are both extremely passionate and driven. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Josh.
For sure.
Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, I'm not Josh James. And I've been wanting to do a podcast, YouTube for, I don't know, some years. And it's just one of those things where, I'll do it like next month. I'll do it like a few months, right? So it's a pleasure to run into you the other day. We just met a few days ago, introduced through a mutual friend. I've been building this music studio here for about a year. We're actually right downtown Miami, across from Bayside. There's the Ferris wheel and everything. And there's this concert. Is this the Rufus concert? I didn't look it up.
I have no idea, but it's half naked women everywhere outside right now. So it's going to be going down tonight.
In the future, we're going to outfit this with other cameras, and we'll be able to do the the outside view and everything. Different angles with the mirrors could show you the view as well. But regardless, I've been in Miami for a few years. One of the main jobs I had here was COO of a digital marketing company. We had a collective audience of like 300 million or so. If you are involved at all in cryptocurrency, you might recognize me. A story for a different time. Anyway, I think that we share a lot of the same perspective on some of these controversial topics and issues in the world. And what we want to do really is have like a safe and productive space to discuss them, right? And here we are in the studio. So like, maybe tell me a little bit about, because I haven't ever seen anything on your YouTube channel, but it looks like it's starting to pop off, right? So maybe tell me a little bit about how you started the channel.
All right. Well, the idea of starting a YouTube channel wasn't necessarily mine, wasn't original. It's something that people kept telling me, after talking to me, after getting some really sound advice or useful advice. People usually be like, yeah, man, you need to get on, some platform. You need to get on this or get on that. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go lift these weights, doing the one-on-one thing more in person. But that was just a very common suggestion that I would get from individuals that I've dealt with, is that I should be speaking on a wider spectrum and trying to hit more people's ears. So I got an opportunity to kind of target a particular couple of guys that were doing things local, and they were in their infancy and they just started off. And I said, let me try to get myself into this circle, because should I decide to get involved with YouTube, I don't want to wait on the line, basically. I don't want to like build it from nothing and try to create a following before anybody's actually hearing me. How can I get around those people from day one? And that's exactly what I did. Of course, I had to bring value to be invited to the party. And that ended up turning out bittersweet. You know what I mean? I give a lot of great ideas that are being fully exploited right now. There's people getting hella rich. So literally $1 million idea. But I don't necessarily see myself as giving it away. So the deal that I made was not honored, but I feel like a market was created for part of my vision, or at least what my vision looks like on paper, which is, strong, confident men having these type of conversations, not necessarily debates, but conversations with women, involving women, rather than women kind of being on their side, having their views and their discussions, and then men being on this side. And then if ever two are together, it seems like the men aren't really allowed to tell the truth and really say what needs to be said, even though it's on a lot of our minds. So that's kind of the atmosphere that I wanted, where men could be very direct, say exactly what they have on their mind, but then also in the presence of women, and then kind of get that back and forth so some progress could be made. And it just seemed like you kind of also have value for that. You value that also. So let's see if we can try to do that.
Yeah. So I think when you deconstruct a lot of these issues and these controversies, the reason things become so polarizing is because it's profitable, right? The internet is an economic engine. It amplifies the things that get the most attention, right? And fundamentally, at a neurological and at a primal and visceral level, our brains are more attracted to things that have more danger or more significance or prominence, right? When there is drama, our brains are primed to respond to it more. Therefore, we click more, and it makes more money. So inevitably, what has become is that we have, millions of professionals whose sole function in their day-to-day jobs is to optimize for the magical engagement, and the most common way of doing so, often inadvertently, is to capitalize on drama and on controversy and to polarize people, right? Because if you're on one side of an issue, you want your side to win. You're rooting for it. You're following the drama. You're lashing out at those that have a different view, an opinion on the other side. But I think really what we all need is to be less polarized and to approach these issues from a place of understanding, and saying, I want to know why you believe the things that you believe. And I want to tell you why sometimes I don't believe the same things. And let's find out what we can learn about each other, and let's see if we can kind of change our minds a little. So like one of the first things that we kind of talked about was like the word alpha, right? Now I like to study the brain. I got a bunch of brainwave sensors here. I'm working on some biofeedback devices and such. And so alpha, is used as a classification for a range of brainwaves, and it typically refers to the oscillation of your brain. I think it's 4 to 6 hertz, or we can look it up. Jamie looked that up. And so alpha is where you are at when you are in deep focus, when you're in flow, when you're about to fall asleep, but you're also your mind is running, you're imaginative and you're creative, right? Beta is what you get when you drink a bunch of caffeine. You go for a workout, right? It's a lot faster. So alpha, from the perspective of the brain, has a meaning to me as a word that is a lot different than alpha if we were to pair it with like alpha male, right? And then suddenly my marketing brain is like, oh, that's buzzwords. There's a bunch of controversy associated with that. Avoid it unless there is an economic reason to capitalize off of it, right? So I asked you then, and I guess we should probably talk about it again now. What does that word mean to you? Because I might have a definitively different opinion, and I'm sure we have a few guests now that have made it to the lobby. So hey guys, we're just doing a bit of an introduction here to ourselves and to what we want to do with this podcast, and we'll bring you up pretty shortly. But like, what I wanted to ask is, what does this word alpha mean to you? Would you use it to describe yourself, and why?
Well, when I came with the name with the channel, it again wasn't me. So a lot of people have to realize a lot of the things I do is because it's highly requested. So it was a term that people were constantly using to refer to me in my personal life, as well as interactions on social media, and also including YouTube.
So people described you as alpha.
Yeah, and what it is, I kept getting those two words, so I said, why not combine them? My name is Allende, starts with an A. I was getting referred to as being authentic, starts with an A. I was being referred to as alpha, starts with an A.
Alliteration.
So, when I was growing up and coming up, we weren't really focusing on the labels. I wasn't focusing on labels. You want to perform as well as possible when you're in the field or you're on the court, you're dealing with your team members. You want to translate what it is that your coach is directing, when you're in the game. And that's where your focus is how can you contribute the most to your team? How could you be the leader, right? And if you're not the leader, how could you follow well, right? How can you follow the team captain well? So that's, how we're engaging in our mind, right? In that particular setting, right? I don't know how this word started to bring on such a negative connotation, as if somehow alphas are somehow aggressive to others, or they're rude, or they're arrogant, or they think they're better than other people. And it's weird for me, because growing up, that was like literally the opposite of what you would think of when you're thinking of the alpha. You're thinking of the person that was literally selected for doing right by others, for inspiring others, for taking the majority of the load, for doing the heavy lifting, for inspiring, leading by example. So it's like, at what point in time did the alpha become the asshole? Right? The alpha was the guy that everybody wanted to be and all the women wanted to be with. So when I'm trying to put that into this, it's more me inspiring guys to figure out what is their authentic self, and how can they be the alpha of their life, or the alpha of whatever it is that they're doing. Like, for example, Cat Williams would say, you got to get in touch with your star player. You know what I'm saying? Who's your star player, right? And you have to embrace that, and make sure whatever you're doing, it serves that. Does it serve my goal, my agenda? Does it make me better? Does it make me perform better? So I'm not going to not use a word just because it's being misunderstood. If anything, I would rather bring some understanding to it.
Yeah. So do you think this word has much different meaning to other people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that that's what a word actually means. There's a lot of words right now that we are not familiar with the actual meaning or the etymology. We are basically told and conditioned how to use and perceive words. Very few people are going to grab a dictionary or thesaurus. I mean, they're just going to kind of go off of what the culture at this particular time is saying that this word means, or how they should react to it, I should say. We're told how to react to keywords, to buzzwords.
That's right. And if you think about it from a computational sense, right, there's in artificial intelligence a class of study and development called natural language processing, right? And natural language processing is all about individual words and pairs of words called key phrases, and the weights attached to them, right? And all of these weights can be attached to each other, right? So if I were to go and say, take a random sample of like 100,000 internet comments or internet posts, and all of these contained the word alpha, what other words would I expect to also find
associated
in that, right? In those associations. So like another set of associations is in the world of like finance and investing, where alpha typically refers to your edge, right? Your competitive advantage in investing. So there's platforms or blogs like Seeking Alpha, Predicting Alpha, and these are finance channels, right? So that would be one group of associations in finance, right? And then we have the group of associations with with brain waves, and we have like you were saying, the etymology of the word. So we have associations with Latin, but we've also got a bunch of other associations, right? And so this is something that I think we can often kind of play around with in this podcast, is kind of like talking about different words or terms and slang, and people's context and association with them. I think it'd be something worth exploring, right?
Well, we should ask the girls what they think about that word.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So I'm still trying to figure out how to use this, but I think we can just bring people on. So what do we think we should do? Do you want to bring everyone on? Should we go one at a time?
Yeah, let's introduce them one at a time.
Okay, so I'll bring one on at a time, and then we'll say like, hey, introduce yourself, say hi.
Left to right is fine.
All right. First up, we've got Noah. Oh, I should have this. Hey, Noah.
Yeah, real quick, can you turn your landscape?
Turn landscape. Okay.
Oh, so we got to put you in the middle now.
Everybody's
there we go.
Reels and shorts. What's going on?
Not much. How are y'all?
You know what?
Fantastic here. Oh, yeah, you need the headphones, bro.
All right. I hear you now, Noah.
Okay.
So introduce yourself. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm Noah Hanover. Currently I live in Leesburg, Florida.
Leesburg, where is that?
It's just outside the Villages, about an hour west of Orlando.
Okay.
Very cool.
Hour west of Orlando, hour north of Tampa.
You say the villages, and I'm like, okay, I think there's a lot of villages in Florida,
Exactly.
right?
It's the retirement, like the retirement capital, the villages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, we're bored already.
That's
why nobody's heard of it.
Wow, ow.
All right, so Noah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring the ladies on one at a time, and then we're gonna ask you guys, what does the word and the term alpha mean to you? All right, give us 1 second. Let's get Anna in.
Sure. Anna, you ready? Wave at me if you're ready. Okay, awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Hey there. Oh, and I think you might be muted. You might want to unmute.
Sorry.
There you go.
There you go.
No problem. Welcome in.
You got 2 for 1.
This is DJ. Say hi.
Oh, DJ.
What's going on, DJ?
Hi.
Did he just eat?
He's sick, so he's a little like all over the place, kind of
Okay.
clean.
Oh no. Hope he feels better.
I get that way when I'm sick too.
I think we all do, right?
Yeah.
And where are you from, Anna?
Texas, Dallas.
Oh, very nice. How is it out there these days?
The weather is all over the place. It was 90 today, and it was like 70 a week ago, 60, high as 60 a week ago. It's crazy.
Oh man, yeah, and you have to deal with hail and everything else, right?
Yeah, but we have great land.
There we go. And plenty of it, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Julia, you want to wave at us? You ready? Okay, fantastic. Here we go. Hey there.
Hi guys, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm good. So my name's Julia. I live in South Florida. I grew up here my whole life. I'm specifically located in Doral, but basically Miami.
Oh, very close to us. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we have Angie, but I think she's on mute, so she might be right back. And we got there she is.
Okay, there we go.
And you want to wave at us if you're ready? Okay, awesome. There we go. Hey there.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Angie. I have 20 years old. I'm born and raised here in Mexico City. So that's why if my English is not the best, it's because
I think it sounds great.
Yeah,
Good.
we understand. Okay, awesome.
And Chrissy, you ready for us down there? You'll give us a wave. Oh, I'm not sure.
We can't tell if you're waving. Chrissy, we can't tell if you're waving.
I think she's ready.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, let's see. Hey there. Oh, and you're muted.
She's muted. That's what it is.
Unless maybe that's my power. Can I do that?
You can, but they also can mute themselves. Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy, you with us?
We still can't hear you.
Yeah, I afraid I can't hear you. Let's see. I can mute you. Oh, I think she's going to come back. Well, we can let her in when she gets back. Obviously, this is a kind of a demo, right? And really what we want to do is play around with the format. So like you'll notice if I hold, like now the lighting looks great, right? The focus looks good.
Looks awesome.
But if you take this away, suddenly I'm like even wider than I was before.
Yes, we need to put a Halloween hand right there.
Yeah, because this camera is intended
there it is,
to,
right there.
Yeah, to be like only on a certain focus. But we'll figure out all the little technical issues later.
Let's go around one at a time, and I'm going to ask you. So, what does the word alpha mean to you? Noah's okay. Everybody's muted, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So
we'll just go mute it because my kid was looking for me.
Okay, all good.
Sorry about this grooming. Okay, alpha. I mean, I agree with Allende's definition of alpha. Like, because I mean, growing up, everyone was. You think of alpha, it was the man who can do everything, be everything, get everything done without aggression. Like he was the one who was able to get everybody to follow him without using the backhanded dirty tricks that everyone else has to do sometimes, like that you see in the books or the movies, you know. So yeah, to me, alpha is like, you know, the Paul Bunyan type.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, lumberjack, right?
Let's hear from Anna.
So I always just thought of alpha as leader, and you think about it like dogs in nature, like in a pack, you have the dog that's the alpha. Sorry, it's the head, and I always identified an alpha personality as like something even in relationships that I would be looking for, just because there's that confident leadership. So that's my thought. Those are my
interesting.
Okay,
Angie? Jinx.
She's on mute, I think.
Okay.
There we go.
For me, I don't know how I can explain, but it's a man like being capable to be the all. Okay, let me think the right words because. Well, that doesn't mean it's like a superhero for a girl, but it's to be that guy, to be comfortable and also to be, I don't know, like have fun and no matter what time of the life, like
Yeah, great.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how can explain the better words.
Sure. No, I think you're doing great.
No, I get it. You want to just pull these two in?
Yeah. Well, let's let Julia go, and then hey, Chrissy and Hadi, we'll bring you in right after.
Okay, so for me, I'd say as far as alpha, I think alpha has a positive connotation for me. I know everyone is different. I think that an alpha is definitely, again, like a guy that can lead. He's capable. I feel like when you think of an alpha, it's like when he says to do something, it's just like you do it. Like he doesn't have to beg you. His presence is just like very commanding and like you respect it and you appreciate it. So I think that it's a good thing. I think that feminism has definitely twisted it and have it, mean something that's like, oh, it's abusive, it's tyranny. But I think the true meaning of like, a good patriarch, a true alpha is a man that can lead, he can protect, he can provide. So I think it's a good thing. Yes.
Nice. Okay, Chrissy, we're going to bring you back on. What do you think about the word alpha?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, wonderful.
Sorry, I was having some audio issues over here, but okay. So
seems they're resolved. Very good.
Yeah. So when I think of the word alpha, I just think of a dominant man, a man who knows what he wants, who can lead. And so, I mean, I just think of the traditional man, and when I say traditional, I'm thinking of like what we were raised. A lot of people were raised to, see in a family dynamic of a man leading the household, providing for the household, being like the example of what you would want in a man growing up. So it's just that I don't know. I'm just thinking of the traditional sense of like a family dynamic man, like your father. So yeah, that's what I think of when I hear alpha.
Great. Mm-hmm. And then Hattie, are you ready? Am I saying that right? Let's see. Okay, wonderful.
Hey hold on 1 second. Christy and Hattie, can you both turn your phone's landscape if possible?
Yeah, give me a second.
There we go. Perfect.
Oh, there we go. Oh, now we can play with it. We can play with it differently.
I'm a stickler for symmetry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Are we saying your name correctly?
It's Hattie. It's like Maddie with an H. Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hattie the Hottie.
Yeah, Hattie the Hottie. What do you think about the word alpha?
Alpha, is somebody that can put me in my feminine zone, my feminine place. A lot of men out here have us women acting like the men in the relationship, right? So an alpha man will respect us, take care of us, and it's not even in a financial standpoint because a lot of us women have our own shit going on, right? But it's a man that can really like make us go into a feminine zone to where we could be our feminine selves. And so an alpha man is a real man in my sense that will put us in a place to where we can be our best feminine selves.
Great.
Okay. Let me ask you ladies another question. What is your take on an alpha female, or does it even exist? Is that even a word, a term?
I think it absolutely is a term. I think that an alpha female, in the sense, is a female. No woman wants to be an alpha female at the end of the day. Like, I'm an alpha female as a single woman, but if I'm in a relationship or if I'm in a situationship with a man, at the end of the day, I don't want to be the alpha. I'm not going to look at you as a male at that standpoint. I'm going to look at you as
I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna look at you as a bitch, because at the end of the day, us women really want to be taken care of and put into our feminine zone. Every single woman on here, I can tell you, every single woman will say that they want to be taken care of and be able to be in a point where they're in an emotional standpoint to be a feminine woman. They don't want to be an alpha female.
Well, let me ask you this though. I mean, it sounds to me like your understanding of an alpha female is basically a uh, resembling masculine characteristics or traits. Uh, when I think of an alpha female, it doesn't have anything to do with what an alpha male is. So when you look at the desired qualities in a male of any species, there's a list that should be synonymous with that, right? But then also when we're talking about females, they would also be a list. It just would be a different list. So an alpha female would be the female that embodies all of the qualities to the best of the group that are desired from females. So it's not the chick that's earning the most money. It might be the chick that has the best genetics, the chick that's the most feminine, the chick that's the most beautiful, the most supportive, the most cooperative. You see what I mean? So, like, for example, I'm not comparing women to dogs, so let's not get triggered. But I used to breed dogs, and you're looking for certain qualities in the male, and you're looking for certain qualities in the female, right? And when you find them in the female, that would be the alpha female. But again, it doesn't resemble what I'm looking for in the male.
I can completely understand what you're saying with that. Absolutely. I mean, speaking for myself, you know, I'm a boss. Like, I have a few businesses. I run shit myself, but at the end of the day, I do want a man to like be there for me and be able to put me into my feminine zone. So I could be an alpha female, but at the end of the day, I still want to be. I want an alpha male ahead of it. You know, I can hear what you're saying though, 100%.
Who you want to go to next?
Let's go reverse order, right? We'll go back up. So Julia, do you think there can be an alpha female? What do those qualities mean if that's possible?
Yeah, so I like the way that Yendi broke it down. I think a lot of us, we do think, yeah, there can be an alpha female, but I like that Yendi brought up the point that actually the alpha female is the girl that embodies all those qualities that a woman like should have, or that, you know, would be the most desirable. So I think it's more so there definitely is, like, instead of saying alpha female, more so like a masculine woman. I think that we see a lot of that where women are embodying like very masculine traits as far as like being very independent, wanting to like dominate men, you know, wanting to like not get any support, you know, just do it all on their own. I think that we do see a lot of that. That's very prevalent. So I'd say we see more so, yeah, masculine women versus like alpha women. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like it.
Okay, masculine rather than alpha. All right,
Yeah.
Angie, what do you think?
Well, I think for being an alpha woman, it means like independent, like capable to be by herself, capable to be all the stuff that thinks it's capable just the men. For example, doing stuff of the house, for example, the home, like, or I don't know, change. What can I say? All this kind of stuff that just men doing, like, you know, when you try to change some stuff with the house, like, I don't know, like electricity, like, you know, I don't know if I'm trying to explain.
Oh, yeah,
the
like
right
like
word, but I
handyman
don't know.
work, right?
Yeah. I think for me, it's like being.
Oh, I think we might be losing you. Mexico City Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's a Mexico Wi-Fi.
You can listen to me now?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, afraid so, Angie. I think I hear what you were saying though. I remember the word independent was a key word there.
Oh, there's a lot going on in the chat.
Alpha female. Oh yeah, actually, speaking of chat, how is this a debate, by the way? Actually, so we're still kind of in the intro segment.
Yeah,
right?
we'll get there.
We're about to be in the debate pretty soon.
See, they want blood. That's all they want is blood.
Well, listen, we gotta
Who
get the
raised these
clickbait,
guys?
right? We gotta put live debate in the title. You know, it's important.
Let's see what Christy got.
Yeah, Chrissy.
Christy, what do you got for us?
Okay, so when I think of an alpha female, I'm pretty much thinking the opposite of what I told you about the traditional man leading the household. Instead, you know, nowadays we have, you know, stay-at-home fathers, and then we have like working women. So like, you know, somebody who is ambitious, who's independent, like the girls were saying, someone who can lead and who is fearless. That's what I think of when I hear an alpha female. So pretty much like, you know, back in the day, the history of back in the day, usually it was the woman at home. Usually it was the woman standing behind her husbands or whoever she was with, right? But now we can stand beside our husbands, right? So yeah, it's just being able to, I don't know. I'm trying to find words. I'm not good with my words. But the point is, you know, just like everybody else said, you know, independent, fearless, being a fearless leader and being able to stand on their own without any man. Okay.
For
So
sure.
that's it.
I think all of your words made sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Those are definitely English. Anna, can there be an alpha female? What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think just like with wolves, just because that's the example that I always think of when I hear alpha, you have, you know, a leader of a pack. So I think that's an important question to consider in terms of like defining an alpha is, say there's a pack of wolves and one is the alpha, the one that the rest of the pack kind of follows. When the pack isn't there, is the alpha still an alpha? I think that that title is contingent on relationship. So like in a relationship, me and a man, like I want an alpha presence. I want someone who's a strong leader. But me right now, I'm a single mom. I'm, you know, running my own business. I have a kid, like in my house by myself. Like I'm the alpha. I'm the leader because of my surroundings. So I think that's also a really important factor is what the surroundings are. So yeah, like alpha, me being an alpha is me taking care of my household, paying the bills, cleaning the house, taking like nurturing and being the leader and all of that. But also like Hattie said, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to be taken care of. I want to be cared for. I want to be able to thrive in being a woman and femininity and you know, embrace all the nurturing things and not be worried about, you know, if I don't work hard enough today, are we going to have food?
Yeah. So you're saying that, you know, the amount of alpha a woman has might be dependent on the environment or on the context.
Totally.
Gotcha. And real quick, everybody, let's wave at Richard for the super chat. That's $10 right there. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
We appreciate you, Brody.
That's right.
In the future, we'll be letting guys that are extremely supportive get in the stream if they show wish or choose to participate. I want to make this as much of a community discussion as possible while still, you know, making it practical. Let's get to Noah up there at the top. What do you think about it? An alpha female, Noah?
So alpha female is like everyone's been saying, like especially Anna, it's dependent upon your surroundings because just like Anna, I'm a single mom and like, you know, we're the ones who have to take care of everything. We have to be the alpha because we don't have the male to do it for us. Like, you know, we're all trying to build our own empires and our own ways. So we're having to do it by ourselves versus the traditional way where, you know, you're going to find your partner, then you two are going to grow, then you're going to build your empire. We're having to do it ourselves because let's be honest, we're not in our 20s anymore. Well, at least I am. I'm in my 30s. So like we have to do it ourselves because we can't wait until we're 40, 50 to do it with somebody else. Not saying that everyone's going to have to wait that long, but yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So I want to switch lanes a little bit and we're going to actually get on topic here, guys. So what I wanted to discuss was the use of makeup, right? And it's extremely common at this, you know, point in time in our society, it's pretty much expected. And I feel like the women are starting younger than ever and they're wearing it longer than ever. I feel like when I was younger, women of a certain age weren't even really wearing makeup anymore. Okay. And also the very young girls weren't even taken to it yet. So it sounds like a lot of this I am woman, hear me roar. I'm strong. I'm independent. I don't need you. I can't help but feel like a lot of it is a facade. I feel like a lot of it is not really authentic, for lack of a better term. And I feel like we can kind of correlate that a little bit to the makeup, or at least what some guys are taking issue with when it comes to makeup. Some guys, I'm not saying that I'm of this school of thought, but some guys feel like it's misrepresentation. Like that's not really you. That's not really what you look like. Similar to what you're saying isn't really what you truly feel, believe, or want. It's kind of a shield, a verbal shield that you're putting on, telling everyone, I don't need you. I don't need your help. And I think women run into a little bit of issue of that if we're not straying too far away from the makeup, because women are, they're interpreting being strong with not admitting they need help, which I find interesting because many times that when women need help or they need advice, I say, well, did you talk to your dad? Did you talk to your uncle? Because I'm about to give you the same advice he would have gave you. And they say things like, oh, well, do you need your uncle or your dad to tell you what to do? And I'll be like, yes, absolutely. I call my mentor before I make any fucking decisions. So I feel like women feel like strong means I don't need help. And I'm like, all the strong men I know, they know when and who to get help from when they need it so that they don't fuck up, and they keep a consistency of winning rather than losing. So tell me how you feel about makeup. Do you think that it's kind of deceptive or giving a false image?
Let's switch up our order here. Let's go with Chrissy first.
Okay.
We'll put you on the spot, Chrissy.
All right.
Is makeup deceptive?
It depends on the person. I think it depends on the person. Now, because there's some people, we like to enhance our beauty. We like to step out. Just like I don't know if I should bring this up, but it's a part of makeup when you think about it. So I'm an African-American woman, right? Clearly. So for me, putting weave in my hair is something I've always done growing up. It's just a part of our culture. We put, braids, weave, whatever the case may be. It's a part of my makeup. It's not that I feel like, I don't know, like ugly without it, because I can go without my hair. I can go without my makeup and I still look good. There are women out there, they're not fortunate. They don't have the best skin. They don't have good skin. They don't have eyebrows. They don't have lashes, whatever the case may be. That's good, but whatever. But I think it could be one of those things where either we like to enhance our beauty. It's just a part of our routine of like putting on cute clothes, getting our hair done, getting our nails done. I don't think it's really a deception unless literally, I don't know if y'all ever seen those videos of like, I'm just going to say like Asian women, they'll like be taping their nose. They'll be like kind of lifting up with tape. I feel like that's deceptive. Like that is crazy. But when it comes to, just putting like some foundation on, some lashes, just putting on a little blush here and there, that is not deceptive. That's just a part of who we are. Now, I want to touch on the part where you were talking about how kids are now wearing makeup. I think this is a generational thing because when I was growing up, I was not allowed to wear certain earrings. I was not allowed to wear makeup. I was not allowed to wear that stuff. I didn't wear makeup until probably my prom,
Well, hold on, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Under whose rule though?
Under my parents. So
hold on. So both the father was present. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. No. My father, he passed when I was 15. So I can't even say it's him. It was usually my mom. She was the strict one in the household. So both of my parents was also alpha. Let me tell you that, because they were Army. So they were my mother was more strict than my father. My father was like, oh, you can do whatever you want kind of guy. But my mom, she put her foot down. So I wasn't able to get away with stuff with her. So she didn't want me looking too grown. She didn't want me wearing shorts out the house because I got long legs and it may attract unwanted attention. So she was very strict on me. And I think it's also about what time you were raised, and then just where your parents was also raised. Like there's kids who can cuss out their mothers. I can't do that. I want to be living tomorrow, So it's just, I think it's also, it's a lot that goes into it. A lot of moving parts that go into it. But
let me jump in here and help structure these things, right? Because we're starting to, there's all kinds of topics now that are coming up. And if we try to talk about all of them, we might get a little off track.
Right.
So there's a couple questions here, right, that to kind of narrow it down. So, what do you think about makeup? Is it deceptive? If so, how and why? How old were you when you first started wearing makeup? What did your parents think about that, if anything? Would you let your kid wear makeup at how old? Let's keep these to be like the central questions. And
Okay.
Hadi, you want to go next?
Hadi, okay.
I have to unmute you.
It's okay. I got it. It's Hattie, like Maddie's name.
Hattie, okay. Yeah.
Yes, it's okay. People choose their names, but it's all good.
Freudian slip.
It is, yes. Being in the beauty industry, I've been in the beauty industry for 7 years now. So I have salons. I love supporting women. I support women's confidence. I support women in general, just, as women. And I feel like makeup it does depend on the person. Like, some women be catfishing these men out here, and I'm telling you. But speaking for myself, I'll wear no makeup and still go out and be a bad bitch. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I myself wear makeup just, in certain scenarios. Like if I'm going out and I'm dressing up, I'm going to put some makeup on just to enhance my natural features. Now, I'm not going to look like a completely different person. I look the damn same without makeup on. I just like to put some blush on, put some foundation on, put my eyebrows on. Like I just like to look a little better. It makes me feel a little more confident, not going to lie. But at the end of the day, I can still go out without makeup and feel just the same. I'm going to look the same. I'm not putting a whole different face on. You're going to see myself as the same with makeup or without. And so I just think that from some standpoints, speaking for some women, that it just...
Oh, did we lose her?
I think so.
Let's get to Julie in the meantime until she gets back.
Yeah, Julie, you want to hop in here?
Yes. Okay, I'm ready. So as far as makeup, I personally believe that makeup, again, how the girls were saying previously, like it should be used to enhance natural features. So as far as makeup for me, I like to focus on my lips, my lashes, and my brows. I feel like those are 3 things that if you just focus on them, like that can really just take you to a next level. And, it's to the point where it's like you look better, but it's like if I don't have it on, like you can still recognize me. I think that's the key. I think like if you take off your makeup and like we can't recognize you, like I think that's a red flag. So again, that's why I personally, I'm not into like foundation really. Like I don't like to cover up my skin. I have good skin, luckily. I think that women should really focus on like skincare so that you don't have to like drown yourself in foundation. And I think foundation is great, like, when you're going to dinner or you're going on like maybe like a podcast or whatever. But I think for like normal day-to-day, going out, I think your skin should just be at a point where it's like you don't need makeup. So like on my Instagram, like I focus a lot on like helping women kind of, just take their look to the next level. And I tell them, like focus on your skincare, focus on going to the gym, focus on eating a healthy diet, on your brows and your lashes, like put castor oil, like try to do things where it's like you can naturally enhance your beauty without needing all the, contour, bronzer, blush. Like, and I think those things are great for certain times, but I think for every day, I'm personally not a fan of it, but I don't judge anyone that does. But again, I just think that, if your man takes you home and you wash off your face, if he can't recognize you, then yeah, like you're lying to him. And I think that's not right. And I do also think like anyone that has a man, like he should see you with no makeup so he can have informed consent on like, are you the one that he truly wants? You get me? That sounds horrible, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, I like to give consent for things, right? Consent's important.
Yeah. And then, so as far as when I started wearing makeup, I think at like 13. I was super young. Not because my dad wanted me to, because my mom let me. My parents were divorced. So when I would go to my mom's house, I would be putting on tons of makeup, going out with my friends to the movies, hanging out. And I think that because I started using makeup at such a young age, it actually made me very insecure. And then I noticed, like, when I was like 16, 17, 18, like I had a really deep desire where like I wanted to do plastic surgery. Like I wanted to get my jaw done. I wanted to get my lips done. I wanted to get, you know, my brows lifted. Like I wanted to do all that stuff that like, you know, like Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian do. And like, I'm so grateful I never did anything like that. But I think that using makeup at such a young age, it definitely made me very insecure. And like, I truly felt like I was an ugly human being. So I don't think I would let my daughter use it, you know, at that age. And honestly, like I'd want my daughter to just like focus again on like, you know, eat a good diet, do your skincare, put castor oil on, you know, your eyebrows and your lashes, you know, like just use clear lip gloss, like just really focus on enhancing what you have without going overboard with all the makeup. That's my opinion.
We need to get to
Adrian. Well, so let's go back to Hadi because she had lost the internet or the camera or something, and I think you're back now, right? You want to jump back on?
I'm back. I was just getting a few calls, but I handled it.
No problem.
Wait, is it deceptive? And what age did you start wearing makeup?
I started wearing makeup probably in middle school just to make, you know, because I was insecure as a middle schooler. We were trying to be like somebody else that we're not. And, you know, I was raised in a household where like I would get my makeup taken away if I did something wrong. And I agree with Julia completely on like if I had kids, I would not let them wear makeup till a certain age because I think it takes away from your like true self and what you see in yourself. I mean, social media nowadays, these 13-year-olds are out here making TikToks, making Instagram videos, looking like they're 20 when they're 13, and it's disturbing. It really is. But coming from like a beauty industry, you know, I do run a salon. I have a consulting business where I've been in the beauty industry for a while. So personally, again, like speaking for myself, like I don't think makeup is deceptive it's speaking for certain people. Certain people will put makeup on and they look like a completely different person. But if you're with a man and they have not seen you without makeup, that is deceptive. That's disgusting because some people look crazy without makeup and they look like a whole nother person with. So I just feel like it depends on the woman. It depends on the person. If I was to take my makeup off and a few of my homegirls, we would look the same as we would with makeup on. For me personally, I just use it to enhance my features on certain days, certain times. Like today, I went somewhere, so I put on some makeup just to look a little more put together. But again, it's different women. It's speaking for different women. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It really is.
For sure.
Let's get Noah into
Noah, what do you think here?
Yeah,
I agree with all the girls. Like for some people, it can be deceptive. Like, especially if you're doing too much, adding all the tape. Like Chrissy said, like so you can't do that. And like, especially if you're with a man, you have to let them know what you look like without the makeup. Because again, we don't want to be lying. Because we're lying to them and to ourselves, frankly, and no one wants to do that. When I started wearing makeup, I was 16. I was in a very, very, very strict household, like hashtag homeschooled and everything. Didn't leave the house for nothing. So I just use it to enhance my beauty because when I was taught how to use makeup, I was also taught less is more. And so for that, we just enhance our natural features. Again, like the ladies, I only have makeup on because I went to church and this lipstick does not come off. So
it looks great.
Thanks. But yeah, if I had a daughter, I honestly would not let her fall prey to you're not beautiful unless you have makeup on. Like that's honestly what today's generation is doing.
And about how old were you when you started wearing makeup?
She's 16.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like is that the age you'd be comfortable with like your daughter wearing, or do you think older,
yeah, honestly,
younger?
I would 16. Yeah, I mean, even then
you can
it
drive
was
a car,
glitter,
you can wear makeup, you know.
glitter lipstick and eyeliner, mascara.
The thing is, makeup doesn't attract 16-year-old boys. That's the problem. Anna, what do you think? Is it deceptive? And at what age did you start wearing makeup?
I started at 13, and it was like my mom had specific things she would let me wear, like tan eyeshadow or like sparkles, like nothing crazy. And then, as we got older, we started being allowed to wear, my sister and I started being allowed to wear other things. In terms of deception, I think it's kind of hard to be deceptive unless you're trying to deceive like a person, right? Or a group of people. So if you are like completely doing something different to your hair, or to your not to your hair, sorry, to your face before you go out because you want people to think you're pretty. Like, I don't think that I don't think there are a lot of women with that mindset. Like, I want to trick everyone out there into thinking I'm beautiful. I think a lot of times most women are, what they're doing in terms of their makeup is for themselves. And if anything, like deceiving themselves because they don't feel beautiful. So they're like, I need to put this on. I need to put on this full face because I don't think I'm beautiful without it. Or I don't think others are going to perceive me as beautiful without it. I think it has a lot more to do with how women perceive themselves in terms of what they're putting on their face. And I think that has a lot to do with what's on our media. These celebrities spend thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, probably more than that, to get skincare and microderm and like all the, this like procedures and things like that. And okay, I have acne scars, so I wear like tinted moisturizer. If I don't wear makeup, I wear like just tinted moisturizer just to kind of like, even that out. But if I had a ton of money, I would go and they have laser treatments for that, and they can zap all the dark spots away and stuff like that. But I don't have money for that, so I'm gonna stick with my tinted moisturizer. I think a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to what other celebrities and what we see on media, filters, airbrush, people who spend tens of thousands of dollars to get their skin looking right when we can't. And so I think that's I think women are trying to, if anything, like convince themselves that they look beautiful because we're comparing ourselves to what we see out there.
Okay. All right. Let me jump in here because I'm going to try to speak on behalf of the guys. Until the super chats start coming in consistently, I have to try to guess where the guys are coming from. So all of the women said they don't think it's deceptive. But I guarantee you, if I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in here and I asked them, I'm pretty sure at least 5 of 6 of them would say yes, they feel it's deceptive. So I'm going to go ahead and give some of the reasons why I think the men perceive it that way. Imagine a guy who's making $60,000 a year. Now, if he's talking to other guys, they might say, that's good. That's great. You're doing above average. Keep grinding. Keep doing what you're doing. You're an earner. You're an earner, bro. Okay. But there might be some insecurity there as to what women would think about $60K a year, how women would interpret it. Right. Now, granted, the other guys agree that you're not a bum. Okay. You're not a waste man. You're earning money and you're above average. Right. But to the women, this guy is nothing special. Right. So now imagine a woman thinking to herself with no makeup, I'm about a 6.5. I'm about a 7. And her friends are like, you're beautiful, girl. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Right. But to men, she's just 6. She's a little above average. Now, when that woman gets all dolled up, she does her makeup, she does her hair, she does whatever she's doing, she accentuates it, right? Or however you ladies are putting it. They just they're embellishing it, right? But they're still recognizable. To the guys, that could be a little deceptive because now she's scoring an 8, an 8.5 on the scale. But if you throw her in the pool and she gets out, you hand her a towel, she's back to being a 6, 6.5. So that's where the guys might feel that's a little deceptive because of how we judge and rate women and how attracted we are to them based on what we see. Now, imagine if that same guy that's making $60K a year and his boys are telling him, that's good. Feel good about that $60K a year. But when it comes to the women, it's, yeah, so, this year I'm bringing around 88 this year, and hopefully next year I'll be bringing in 95. That's fucking deceptive.
Well, I think it's more subtle too. It's like you wearing fake Supreme.
That's what I'm saying. Wearing a fake Rolex.
You wear fake Rolex.
Exactly.
You're trying to pretend and represent that you're something that you're not. Right.
Okay. And you're still recognizable. When you wear the fake Rolex, they can still recognize it's you. When you're driving the car that you don't own, it's still you driving the car. You're recognizable. But it is a little deceptive because you're giving off the impression to women that you are of this value in terms of what women find valuable in a guy. And I feel like the female's doing something similar. Now, I'm not demonizing it. I'm just trying to give you an equal comparison because we know damn well if men were accentuating their earning potential, women wouldn't appreciate it. They'd be like, hold on, you fucking liar.
Oh, they I saw on Amazon the other day. It was a T-shirt that's designed to compress so much that it gives you abs eventually, right? And then it was like you could even get padding for it, so it looks like you got abs.
Or the lifts. Right? You put lifts in your shoes so you can be a little taller.
Like there's all kinds of little gimmicks like this, and I don't know, like so just some context for me. Like I've never really even thought about. Like, what do I think about women wearing makeup? Like, it's just not something that's on my mind. Like,
I love it.
Like, I think in general, it's like, okay, when a girl gets all decked out, especially for me, like, oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Especially if I feel like it's for me.
Yeah.
If I feel like she put the extra effort in for me. But that could just be my ego. But
no, I think it's a good thing. Like, you know when the girl was dressed up any way to go out,
she cares.
You either met her out already.
Right, she cares.
But if it's like just I'm coming over. Then if she shows up and looking great, then it's like, okay, well now I kind of want we got to go
just
out,
the
right?
Netflix and chill.
Yeah,
no, I don't want to waste this.
No, we got to go out first, and then we come back and Netflix and chill later.
Well, let me ask Julia because I know Julia lives in Miami, and I think she will agree that a common complaint that women have for men in Miami is that they tend to give off the impression that they have more money and status than they actually do.
Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, I think that a lot of men, they will, like in Miami, I think Miami as a whole, like a lot of people are just straight up flexing where it's like, for example, a dude will drive like, the nicest car, but then he's going home to like an efficiency or like a studio. Like he's literally, living paycheck to paycheck to drive a nice car. So yeah, I do agree with you. Like, I think what you said, like such a great point. I agree. I think, again, like, I think it can be deceptive. And that's why I said, a man should see his girl without makeup so he can make an informed decision on her. Yeah.
And likewise, because for example, if a guy has the girlfriend, right? He has the girlfriend, they've been together. She knows how tall he is. Okay. She knows what he looks like. She knows what he can afford. But there are times when he might rent the Phantom or the Bugatti or whatever. But I'm saying just so they can look great together as a couple for the weekend. They can have a great time. Maybe he does dress a certain way. Maybe he does wear those shoes that give him another 2.5 inches in the heel. But she already knows what she's working with.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? And she's already comfortable with that. They got their thing going. So in those terms, that's when I feel like, it's just embellishing. I feel like you guys are just looking your best. They're just both doing the most at that moment. So I feel like it's a little tricky when we come to that. I don't want to forget this super chat here.
Mr. Will.
Okay,
yeah. Thank you, Will. All right, so Will has this opinion: wearing makeup, eyeshadow, eyelashes, fake hair is nothing but a costume. It's not really what you look like. And I think that's costumes aren't necessarily bad, right? Halloween's next week. Like I don't know what costume I'm gonna wear, but I got to wear something, right? So I think kind of we're all trying to figure out our consensus here. But Anna was just messaging that she really. I saw you with your hand raised. You really want to jump in here, so hop in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I end it. That analogy about throwing her in the pool and now she looks totally different. I think the makeup thing is way different because than a lot of these other examples, because a woman is wearing makeup. You can look at her and see she's wearing makeup. So before you put a ring on that, make sure that you see her without cake on her face so that if you actually look like what she looks like.
But I think hold on. I want to cut you off, but I do want to just interject one thing though. Yeah. You have to understand guys are not as savvy to these things as women think they are. I just got to throw that in there. There's guys that don't even realize she's wearing lashes. There's guys that hold on. There's guys that have no idea how many different layers go into makeup. There's also guys that don't realize that that's a fake handbag. So there's a lot of things that women do that men are kind of in the dark about it.
Guys that are that like under a rock in terms of like not knowing that women put on like layers of makeup are probably not going to be the guys landing that the woman who puts on multiple layers. Like I don't put on, I don't do like contour and all that, but I have seen like a lot of the women who have like full faces on with contour and their lashes, and there was some pretty men. Like there was men who get, you know, like have the beard fades and like they're men who also groom themselves. And I feel like that level of woman who takes care of herself always usually, I guess.
Okay. Can I give you a quick example on that though? Can I give you a quick example on that? Because I think it's a great example of what I'm saying.
I'm gonna tone you down a little, like one notch down on the intensity.
Okay. All right. So I remember, right, like looking at Rick Ross and thinking to myself, my God, that man's beard is perfect. If you know, if only I would be blessed by the gods of beards to have a Rick Ross-esque beard. And all this time I'm thinking this, and then I'm having a discussion with my barber, and he's like, dude, that's Beijing. And I was like, excuse me now. He's like, that's Beijing. You want that? I was like, I can have that? He's like, absolutely, $25. And he did my beard being Beijing. And here's the thing is, it gets more interesting. Now that I started doing the Beijing, people would have the exact same response that I had to Rick Ross. Guys would stop me and be like, yo, bro, I don't mean to interrupt you, but your beard is perfect. They had no idea. They just thought that's how my beard grew. So I'm just giving you an example of how some people could be naive to what's going on, which by definition makes it deceptive because you're thinking that's natural.
Knowing the level, like how much makeup she's wearing, but any man can look at a woman and determine if she's wearing makeup or not.
I'm sorry. I think you're giving men a little bit too much credit.
Let me
because there's a lot of guys that can't tell extensions, they can't tell eyelashes. They don't know that you did something to your lips to plump them up.
Extensions and eyelashes are different color on your face, and like
they don't know that either. I'm telling you.
I feel like it's obvious.
And a lot of guys don't know.
Okay,
go ahead.
Referee flag on the play, right? Both of these things can be true because we should not overgeneralize to all possible people. Right? There can be some really oblivious dumbass dudes that can't even tell if someone's got blush and mascara and whatever else.
They never had an actual.
But there can be plenty of non-dumbass dudes that I hope you're not a dumbass that could notice if a girl's wearing makeup because it's what we're talking about.
Some guys don't even know how long it takes to put on the makeup. Until you live with a woman, you have no idea what they're doing.
Also, I don't understand the beard example as deceptive because okay, go ahead, Noah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Noah.
Okay, y'all are going on about how makeup is deceptive. Okay, let me flip it on you. Ayende, how many times do you shave your beard off? How often do you shave your beard?
Only when I compete, because the judges don't like it. But other than that, I leave it alone.
Us women, we'll flip it on you. Your beards are deceptive. Because there are men who...
What? It's natural. How can it be deceptive?
No,
you're born with it.
There are men. Okay, but there are men who have a beard. And
I met some random man right now. Let me just say this. I'm going to ask him this question.
Let's go. All right. Crowd participation. Okay.
So let me actually take this on my AirPod. Okay, wait. Let's speak. Wait, speak. Let me see if I can hear you. Oh, no.
I just reset our audio driver too. All of a sudden you were coming out of the speakers here and then back in the headphones.
That's weird. Okay. Ask him the questions you want to ask. If makeup accentuates, deceives men, whatever.
No.
Ask him.
Homie,
I just like this man.
Do you feel like makeup is deceptive?
Oh, you put the AirPod in his ear. Okay.
His ear is bigger than hers. That's what it is.
Yeah. You said, do you feel like makeup deceives?
Yeah, it's deceptive.
It's deceptive. I don't think that it's deceptive. I mean, a woman's gonna look how she looks. I mean, I just feel like that's just it's like accessory. It's like a guy wearing a chain or a bracelet or something like that, or a watch or something like that. It's just something to, accessorize them to help you look better or make you feel better, I should say.
Okay. Well, follow-up question. Do you think trimming your beard is deceptive?
No,
Wait,
like,
I don't think that's what you're.
I don't feel like that's. I don't feel like that's something that's.
I feel like hat. Take off your hat. I feel like hats. Okay, never mind. But I feel like hats to CPA.
Yeah, are hats deceptive, bro?
You know, it's funny she said that because I always wear a hat because that's what I do. I used to bring 2 or 3 hats to school. Yeah, because if the principal takes my hat, I got another one to replace it because that's what I do. It's my swag, right? But there's guys that watch my channel and they say, "Ayende, why are you always wearing a hat? You're covering up a bald spot or receded hairline." It's like, why would that be the assumption that you made? Because I don't conform and I have my own individual style. You assuming that I'm hiding something or compensating for something. So I could see like how people would,
yeah, like I said, it's like an accessory for like guys. You got the whole fit. You got the Jordans with matching hat, t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like you got everything to what I'm saying, to make you feel fly. Or
I mean, some chicks be fooling though. Some chicks be trying to fool you with it though.
I mean, like
some chicks try to fool you with it.
That you put on. Yeah, they will.
Some women stuffing something in there, bro.
Sometimes, and I mean,
did we read this already? Oh, that's the same.
Because I've been watching like Instagram and stuff like that. I be seeing some busted women and they just do the little videos.
Well, hold on, bro. See, that's where I was going. That's where I was going with it. Yeah,
because I'm like, I've been watching the videos. I was on the plane and I'm looking at this woman and she looked busted. Her hair was fried. I'm like,
but on the gram, she's the bomb.
They did a little circle joint and she looked like a totally different person. She had hair now.
That's almost deceiving, right?
That's deceiving. That's very deceiving.
She's on the run. She's on the run from the feds.
Listen. She looks
she's
like
in
a whole
disguise.
different person. Like, yeah, like so. I mean, I guess it's It's boundaries.
Depends on the woman.
Depends. I guess it does.
Yeah. But that's what I was gonna say to Anna.
You putting a pound of makeup on,
because Anna was trying to
look
say
like somebody else versus just putting something on to just to make yourself feel better, or make you look better for the night or what have you.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Okay, so the logistics of managing the multiple AirPods and this is starting to get out of hand, brother. It was a pleasure talking with you. What's your name?
All right, thank you so much. My name is Dante, man.
Dante. All right, everyone, say hey to Dante. Thanks for joining us on Candid Camera.
Anna was finishing up.
Yeah. Well, you were asking something about
her,
right?
Yeah, because Anna was speaking more in terms of the individual. Is the individual guy being deceived, and he should know what he's getting himself into? But hold on, that would hold plenty of weight 25, 30 years ago. In this day and age, it ain't about the one guy that believes or doesn't believe in person. It's about the 50,000 people that follow her on Instagram who are recently now contendants to pay monthly on Instagram. It's about the 10,000 people that follow her on OnlyFans, and you see where I'm going with this. So in these type of scenarios, you can see how guys would be very, very concerned about the level of deception when you don't even get the opportunity to meet the woman in person. And now we're combining makeup and filters. I know we're talking about just makeup here, guys, but filters, technically speaking, is digital makeup at this point. And there's even a lot of guys taking advantage of that. And I've done things, that's published or for press, and they're like, all right, sit down, Mr. Gordon, we're going to go ahead and do you're going to powder your face. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. And then I look different. I'm like, oh, I look about 10 years younger after whatever you just did, young lady. So I think there is levels to it, is what I'm saying. And I think a large amount of people can be fooled by someone that they actually don't get the opportunity to see in person. And that could be an ethical issue.
I think that's a whole separate issue. Like if talking about women wearing makeup in person and talking about women wearing makeup in media, because media, like social media, OnlyFans accounts, like all of those things even go down to like marketing and even movies. Like if you want to talk about deception in media, let's talk about special effects, making it look like someone's on the moon when they
but I know that special effects though. Like I know I didn't see a car transform into a robot. You know what I mean? Like I know Transformers aren't real. So that's kind of a little different.
Affect you personally, because you're not there, and the woman wearing makeup on her social media to present herself a certain way is just marketing. It's not the viewers are not really there. Is that I agree in terms of like the Victoria's Secret bra, whatever that one, the bombshell that adds like 4 boobs to your 1 boob. And we have these underwear now with like hip pads.
Yeah. Make the butt big.
Yeah, that stuff, I agree. That's deception, because at the end of the day, like, people don't know. You can't know. I still think makeup, you can kind of tell if someone's wearing makeup, and then it should be your discretion.
Well, that's why I tell guys don't pass any judgment until you meet her in person, and also get her into the shower as soon as possible. Take showers together.
Save water.
It's enlightening.
Right?
Yeah, it's good for the environment also.
Oh, shout out again to Richard, another super chat.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get to the 100K, road to 100K, maybe.
We're gonna get there, man. But
I think we're just starting out.
I want to hear from you guys. You guys got to add something with that super chat. I want to hear what you guys are thinking.
You're talking to the audience, the chat.
Yeah, the audience for sure. Because like I said, me personally, I look at it a little bit different because I'm not feeding into all of that other stuff. I like the makeup, right? But I've also obviously have already accepted the woman. Like I remember my ex-wife, when I made the decision that, I want to be with this woman, I'm keeping this woman. It was actually the first time I saw her without makeup. And I felt like you could have done this so much sooner, because I appreciated that more. Like she was more beautiful to me without the makeup. So I don't know. You know,
I think there's a lot to be said. Okay, so I'm gonna try and make it a statement that like everyone agrees with, right?
Good luck with that.
Oh, I know. But the more broadly agreeable a statement, the more like generic and vague it sounds, right? So, like deceit is the opposite of honesty, right? Being deceptive, we're talking about it in the context of makeup or accessories and apparel. And our guest with Hattie was making this same example too. Like, oh, makeup is like an accessory, right? And then we're talking about it with beards and all of these different things. I think the commonality is that if it is deceptive, it is about the person's intention, right? Not necessarily the act itself, right? So it's like I do my lines like every 2 days or so because I'm a little lazy, but like, you know, I want to keep it looking good, right? I've been learning how to use this straight razor and everything. Like, and I feel like using a straight razor is like about as alpha as it gets, right? It's like straight out of Mad Men. And it, you know, it's been fun. I haven't killed myself yet, which is good, but I don't question myself doing that at all. Like, I don't think I need to do it to like refine my jaw. Sometimes I mess it up and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I guess
but there are guys that do it for that reason. I see your point.
Yeah. So like I think it really kind of depends. Like, I don't know if it's the action itself that's deceptive as much as the person, the intention, and the context of doing so.
Okay.
Right.
So you're making sense of it.
Yeah.
I feel like you're making progress.
I don't know how to make that a more succinct statement that everyone can agree with, but like, you know, if you're into it, nod your head maybe. Like, does that kind of sound like accurate generally? Oh, Julia does not think so.
Don't think so.
Okay, Julia. All right, let's jump in.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying and I love where you're coming from. I feel like you're being really nice, but I know women, I talk to women every day, and women, when they put on makeup, like, I don't know, I just feel like even like, let's say if I caked my face, but I'm like, oh yeah, I just did it for myself. Like, no, I didn't cake my face for myself. Like, I think that's a lie. Like, I know how women work. I know how I am. Like, if my face is caked, no matter what I tell you, like, I did it for people to look at me, and like, I did it for men. Like, I think a woman could sit here and be like, oh yeah, I just did it for myself. But again, like, I don't think that could really ever be true. That's just me. I know women. I am a woman. I'm 22 years old. I don't agree with it.
Well, I mean, she brings me to the next point that I was, going to get to eventually, which is that how you would call Cap. Let's say I wanted to call Cap. Let's fucking Cap. Okay. The way I would illustrate this point, and limit any type of argument, is we all know damn well that a way a woman gets treated in society when everything is on fleek, and the way she gets treated in society when she's just like, oh, all right, I'm half an hour late. Let me just get this shit out of my eye. Let me just grab my handbag and get out of here. You're not going to get the same treatment. Okay. So just based on that alone, if you're being treated like a completely different person, I would have to argue you must be getting perceived as a completely different person. So you can't say it's the same, because the treatment is completely different, and that's facts. Just like a guy wearing a suit. I don't know why so many guys wrestle with this when it's a simple experiment. Get a suit, okay? Get it nice and pressed and fitted and everything and ready to go. And then wear your normal shit for a day and document everything. document the whole experience, and then do the same exact thing the next day, but with that suit. I guarantee you, you're going to get a different experience from society as a man wearing that suit that over that sweatsuit, right?
And can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's the same for women. Yes, at the end of the day, like, you know, when we do go out, Julia, I completely agree with you. Like, we're trying to look like more enhanced than we do. You feel me? Whether you're foundation, highlight, contour, whatever the fuck it is, you're enhancing yourself to look better when you go out to get different attention. So I completely hear you on that. But at the end of the day, would men really look at us the same if we went out with no makeup and not dressed up and not giving a fuck? You know what I mean?
They wouldn't.
Exactly. So it's kind of that we're pinpointing women here when men realistically love the way that we look when we're all dressed up. Now, I'm not degrading. I'm not kind of putting away to the side that if a woman looks completely different than she does wearing makeup without makeup. But when men go out, they look for a beautiful woman that has, you know, this put together, that has that makeup on, that has those clothes on, that whatever looks put together. You know, we're going out looking with that makeup. Men are looking for the women that look good. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a hard in between. You feel me?
But we think it's that, though. That's what I'm saying. The whole point is we think it's that, because you have to understand the male brain, we're not breaking it down the same as the female brain would. Like if I see you know, Josh, and he has a particular car, as a man, I'm breaking it down different than a female. I'm already like, oh shit, what you got under the hood there? Okay, how many cylinders you got? All right, okay, rims coming in at 20. I see that. And you did the custom exhaust. I see you got the aftermarket MagnaFlow. I like that. And that spoiler, you ordered it from Korea? No, they do really good work over there. We're looking at it completely different.
I like the Flowmasters better as the
exactly
exhaust, but,
because we know what those things mean, and we know what those things are, and we know what came with the car, and we know what absolutely could not have came with the car. That's aftermarket. There's no way. They don't release a model with that. We know as guys. The girl, she might actually be under the impression that the dealership sold him the car like that. So it's the same thing when a guy's looking at a woman. We don't know how many things are aftermarket. All we know is I like it, and he likes it too. That's all we know. And when you start taking things away, you're like, well, I don't necessarily feel the same way about this woman as I thought I did, because we didn't realize how many things were added. So when those things start getting subtracted, we end up with a different product than we thought was there. So I just want you, I want you ladies to keep that in mind, is that we don't see the same thing you see, and we don't have the same information that you have to begin with. I tell a lot of guys all the time, when you're chasing after a particular girl, or you think you want a particular girl to like actually be your girlfriend, you might want to call up my boy Aaron Clary and do a quick assessment of what maintaining her is going to cost you. Do you know how much she spends in Sephora? Sephora, what's that? That's my point. You don't even know what the fuck Sephora is. You have no idea how much that lip gloss is going for. You don't know how much that foundation is. You don't know how much any of that's going for. And if you saw that receipt, you'd be like, you would have thought you paid for plastic surgery. So we don't know the same things you know. And I know that I might have a couple of, you know, insights that the average guy doesn't necessarily have.
Which are
if you guys,
how much you guys pay for makeup. So you can't say it's just a slight, just a slight enhancement, because when you see how much women are investing in makeup, there's no guy that's going to call that slight. That's a monthly expense. And I know women don't look at it that way. They don't actually sit there and look at how much they pay for fashion, for shoes, for makeup, for all these things. It's like,
well, okay, let's see. Is that true? Do you guys never look at how much it costs? I feel
makeup
like
is not expensive.
Depends on which women.
It's not, no.
Yeah, but you just talking about how like you don't know, like men don't know, so maybe we should ask the women that we have here.
No, I'm just saying. No. But hold on. But that's why I started that by saying I tell guys, before you start having your nose open for a particular woman, you need to understand what the cost is to maintain her. I'm not saying it's the same for all women. I agree with that. But that particular woman, you might not be able to afford that lifestyle, bro. You can't provide what she's interested in.
Okay.
Well, that's assuming that it becomes the male's bill. Most women are already paying for their stuff and continue planning on paying for it.
Yeah, but if I would interject once more, that is one of the key reasons why a lot of women prefer to stay single, because they're like, listen, all the favors that I'm getting across the board, all the sponsorships I'm getting, if you want to call it that, all the contributions that I'm getting, I would have to shut down shop if I commit to one man exclusively. I'd rather be a free agent and let this dude hit my Cash App. Let this dude fly me out. Let this dude take me shopping. Let this dude buy me dinner. Let this dude take me to Sexy Fish so I can post it on my IG so I can present myself as this is my lifestyle. This is what it costs. Don't DM me unless you can afford this type of shit. Don't DM me if you don't go to Sexy Fish. Okay, if you're not gonna pay me to Komodo, don't DM me because this is what I do. I don't do Chipotle's. So that's why a lot of women prefer to just stay single because they're like, listen, you one guy cannot afford to sustain what I want to do and what I want to have. But this multitude of guys making a contribution, right? That is feasible.
Tell me this though. I feel like that kind of deferred from the. I understand where you're coming from, 1000%. There's a lot of women out there like that. Like if they're already supporting themselves financially, they already are independent. They're already doing their own thing, paying their own bills. I hear you 1000%. But let me tell you this: if you were to be out and you're out, you know, we go out to like be socialized, to be meeting other people, to network, to just like meet other people and have a good time. You know what I mean? So when you go out, do you look for a woman with no makeup, or you're gonna go for the prettiest bitch in there that has some makeup on her? Is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's my point. You gotta check your pockets. That's my entire point.
Absolutely.
You gotta check your pockets,
Absolutely.
bro, because you gotta know, you know, what type of lifestyle this woman's living. What is she into? Because again, like I said, a lot of guys can't tell the difference. I can, but I can't put that on every guy. I can't expect every guy to be able to identify. You know what I'm saying? The different types of women and the different type of lifestyles. I could look at a couple and be like, yo, bro, chill. That's her sugar daddy. And they'd be like, really? I'm like, bro, chill. That's her sugar daddy. You see what I'm trying to say? That's
So that guy that just came up right now, he was like, oh, you're beautiful. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I like your hair. Like, that's cool. So I brought him in here to talk, right? And I was like, are you going to fly me out to see you? He said, absolutely. I was like, okay, cool. I said, I'm not cheap.
Just because you're not being deceptive, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, I have a different answer for that. When girls tell me that, I'm like, listen, just tell some other dude to fly you out. I'll see you when you get here.
So it's dependent. It's dependent on the person. Like I don't even know this man, but I would just hold him that to get him away, right? But he said, no, I got you. So I was like, okay, whatever. So it depends on the man. I hear you 1000%.
Yeah. Oh, someone just asked what happened to Anna. She just texted in the chat here that her kid is feeling sick, so she's going to take care of him. Yeah. Had to dip. Shout out to Richard again for another super chat.
I like you, Richard.
Yeah, thank you, bro. And speaking of, so I'm on a bit of a time crunch because I actually have to take some work meetings, even though it is almost 9 p.m. here.
Is it already?
Eastern time.
Yeah, we're a little past.
I work with an international team on this aerospace simulation project, and so nonetheless, I think so let's try to see what should we
how do we wrap it up?
Here?
Yeah, how do we want to
wrap it up? Okay, so like what's a good takeaway from what we talked about, right? Like maybe let's each go and see like what are each of our takeaways here. Right. So Noah, you want to go first?
Okay. Well, some guys
are very unstructured.
Okay, go ahead. Some guys think all women are deceiving.
Yeah, well, some women think all men are deceiving, but that's okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just a lot of deception out there, and it is
mistrust.
It is very commercialized, right? So then it becomes a really hard issue to talk about and discuss because by nature we try to apply like our perspective as a blanket to everything when you know each situation is very nuanced and each person is very nuanced. But on top of that, it's hard to question these types of things and have the uncomfortable conversation because it's very close to like our sense of identity, right? So if you asking me like, okay, like how often you trim your beard, I'm like, what do you mean? I want to look good, right? Like I want to be presentable. Like every day or two. Suddenly I'm like, I want to get defensive. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yo, listen, it's not the same thing, right?
I didn't get to finish the whole.
Yeah, you did.
I know.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go off with that.
Yeah.
No, so like
you know, there are men who look completely different when they shave the beard completely off. That's where I was going with it. Like, some of us guys think makeup is deceiving, okay, because maybe sometimes some of us, we look different, but guys also look different because they could look like they have a
jaw,
and then they take it off, and then you see the, you know, the rolls, and it's like, okay, wait,
real quick,
what happened?
Public announcement, real quick for the guys. I got to make sure I give value to the guys. Guys, there are a ton of options out there for improving your jawline. Okay, you motherfuckers need to learn how to read and do research. There's exercises you can do for the jaw. There's operations, and the operations look phenomenal. And I'm not even one that supports that type of shit. I know a lot of surgeons, so I listen to them. I let them show me a lot of stuff, and I gotta say, I am very impressed with the results that they get from the jaw implants. So all you guys out there whining about my jaw isn't square enough, well, do something about it. If it's that big of a fucking deal to you, do something about it. But sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, this video is sponsored by whatever the fuck
know,
that
right?
one ad.
Oh yeah,
the thing. Like, you know, you guys have seen that ad? Like, he's like,
I was waiting for it.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, but it works though.
The ad is like 7 minutes long. It's full on late show.
That's
like,
how you know they're making money.
Like...
They're selling those motherfuckers out the door.
Yeah, then it's like, then you go on the website, it's like $40 for like a little rubber ball.
That you can make it. You could have made it yourself. You're like, I'm gonna make this in China. I'm gonna order this from China for $5.
Anyway,
ahead,
sorry, you were finishing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good. That was it, pretty much.
That was it.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, Julia, what's your takeaway?
I'd say, so my main takeaway, I think we can agree, as far as makeup, like, I think guys do like makeup because obviously, like Hattie was saying, you know, when we go out, the guys are not going for the girls that came in their bare face. They're going for the girls that have the makeup on. But what I was trying to say was that on a day-to-day basis, I definitely think that, like, if you're putting on so much makeup where it's like we can't recognize you, then I feel like that's obviously very deceiving. If you're going out to the club, like, I get it. Yeah, like when you put on all the makeup, like the dudes are gonna buy you whatever, get you VIP. Like, it's a totally different hustle.
It's an investment. It's an investment.
It's a different hustle, yeah. But like I said again, I just think as far as makeup goes, it's really just about like not going overboard. Like, you shouldn't have to, like, my personal opinion is like, I don't want to have to wear foundation and like concealer every day. For me, I'm just like, you know, I want to just like accentuate, you know, my lashes, my lips, my brows. I feel like if you can do that, it's like if you throw me in a pool, which like I sent you a picture of me, like I obviously, you know, it's you look
good coming out the pool because that's you.
Yeah, it's me.
So don't be acting like that's women in general. You just have
okay. That's
okay. Hold on. You have, and this is not me like hitting on you or flirting with you. I'm just being objective here. You are very youthful. You're only 22.
Yeah.
You, for whatever reason, you have very healthy skin, and then you also have natural hair, and then you're also blessed with them big ass sexy lips. So it's not that every woman can't apply that logic. Is all I'm saying, right? Let's be honest with that. Just like there are certain guys that are 6'2", have an amazing jaw, and they could just wear a fucking tank top and some basketball shorts, and the girls are gonna go crazy. Speaking of that, because I do appreciate the nails and the hair, especially the toes done. I love it. Richard said hair nails every month be like $200 to $300 a month, and I agree with his point. I don't agree with the price necessarily, because that varies. Sometimes it could be more or less. But from being someone that's been in multiple long-term relationships, that is something that I've always kind of been like, God damn, do you have to get your nails done every 8 days? Because, you know, I'm paying for it. And I look at it and it's like, oh, I have this slightest little chippy right here. So I'm going to go to the nail place. So I lose time because now she's unavailable to me because I would never step foot in a salon. Guys, if you're stepping foot in a salon, you're fucking up. Drop your woman off. Come back when she's done. Do not let me catch your ass reading a magazine in a salon or in the mall waiting for her to stop. Do not do it under any circumstances. Find something productive to do in that space of time. But I do agree with him that it's very expensive. Do you ladies feel that it's absolutely necessary to budget those type of things when you're in a relationship?
For the man to budget it?
No, like, do you feel like it's necessary to keep up with those type of things when you're in a relationship if it's not a priority to your man?
I mean, no, if it's like not a thing for your man, then no, like if your man doesn't care for you getting, you know, like weave or braids or like nails, and I think like you don't have to do it. But I think if you want to do it and like you're going to use your own money as a woman, then it's like, go do it. I think it's also different, like boyfriend versus husband. I think a husband provides. I don't necessarily agree that like your boyfriend has to pay for your nails and your hair. Like that's not me. I know in Miami it's probably different, but yeah, I think if it's your husband, then it's like, okay, he should probably budget for that stuff because like you're his wife. But if it's just like your boyfriend, like if you want to go do your nails and your hair and you want to spend $500, like go do that with your own money, but don't put it on your boyfriend. Like he's not legally binded to you, so it's not his responsibility. And like if he doesn't care for it, then it's like, you know, I would kind of sit there and question like, okay, do I really need to go spend this money if like my man doesn't even care about it?
Right. Submissive. All right. So real quick, we got to get out of here. So we just want to get Hattie's feedback, her takeaway, and then we'll get you, Chrissy. We'll get your takeaway. We'll let you end it out.
Yes, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, boyfriend or husband, like I completely hear you, Julia, but I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna make sure that I look good no matter what at the end of the day, just because I don't need anybody to pay for it. But if you're choosing to pay for it and you want me to look a certain way, like, and you offer to, I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to make sure that I'm in the position to where I can always make sure that I look good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure that I'm presentable, I'm good, you're with who you are, because if I was just to, I'm not telling you, I don't wear makeup every day. I probably wear makeup probably like when I go out or when I do certain things, I go out to a dinner, whatever it is. But every other day, I'm not wearing makeup. I just have my lash extensions. I have my eyebrows tattooed, like that's it, and I'm good. I look the same. I think at the end of the day, there's hat fishing, there's glass fishing, which is like sunglasses.
All right,
and okay.
Sounds like it's always on the market. I don't like it. Chrissy, go ahead.
I think y'all made some really good points, everybody. You know, I think I learned something from this, though. I feel like everything's a deception at this point because
exactly,
women and men can be deceptive. You know, when you think about it, and so whether you know with the beard situation, everything like that, the makeup. There's some women who are really deceptive. Like there's a scale from 1 to 10. There's women who just, and you know what? I've been reading those chats, the comments about the men. Some of these men are trolling. Because they're talking about
need some booty.
Like the natural women, huh?
They need some booty, is what it is.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Some booty changes a man's perspective.
See,
changes his attitude.
They say they like the natural woman, but let's be real. They over here, they're the main ones following all them girls who have their little BBLs, they lipo, all that good stuff, got their makeup done, their hair done, but they claim they want a natural woman. My man says that all the time. He loves me without my makeup. But let me tell you, I don't do it for him, you know. So when I step out, okay, now he's like, ooh, you looking good. Let me give you some extra attention. But he prefers me not to wear makeup. So I don't know. It's just I feel like everything's a deception at this point. Clothes, shoes.
That's because makeup means you're still on the market. That's what it is.
And makeup too.
Makeup but you know is like a for sale sign in the car.
What? Okay, all right.
I'm just trying to trigger. I'm just trying to trigger. Go ahead. Wait, hold on. One more real quick. We got a super chat from Richard. He said, beard all natural, though. Yeah, except for the guys that put the Beijing in there, Rich. And the Beijing makes a huge difference. It's an advantage. If you don't know what it is, start getting it. It comes in every color. Don't match your beard. And then we got another super chat. Richard again. He said, Project AG at all costs. Let's protect. Go. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Protect AG. I think that's
I need protection.
Right? That's you. Yeah.
I didn't know.
You got to protect you from all these women.
I can't wait to get security. Oh my god! All right, so we're out of here. We're gonna let you say.
Yeah, so let's wrap up. So this was obviously like a demo, a test of this format, like how things look in the studio. So we'll probably make some improvements to different logistical things. And definitely we have a lot to figure out with like what is the ideal format and structure and style of like getting like lots of people and lots of women here to express their opinions, but in a way that we can, have a conversation around a central subject. And I don't know, one of my takeaways, just looking at this from a direction perspective, if I'm doing like the production and everything of this is, how do we facilitate that more effectively when we have like a topic where everyone wants to jump in, right? Because you know, in a physical setting, right? If we have 4, 5, 6 people here, you know, everyone might be individually mic'd up.
I only
and,
want
you
3.
know,
You keep saying that's too many people. I just want 3
well,
women,
including
in studio.
us, right?
That's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
the
Fine.
comfortable max of 6
right,
here.
we count 2.
Regardless,
we're people 2.
right? So there's like the 100, 200 millisecond delay of doing it in the digital format is sometimes enough that like there's a little bit more friction in us handing off between people. Right. So we're gonna try and get better and see, you know, how we want to do with hosting. And what I'd ask is for, you know, all of our listeners out there in the audience and for everybody on the call, if you don't mind, if you come up with some thoughts or some ideas about, you know, how we could do this better, if you have any ideas for, you know, other topics or questions or prompts that we could have in the future, you know, send them our way.
Suggestions, not complaints.
Yeah. Put them drop a comment in the so like when the video does it get published on YouTube after it's like its own video, right?
Yeah, it'll be there.
And so it replays the chat, but then you can also comment on it, right?
Yeah, the chat disappears after it's not live, but
then
you can do a whole nother chat. It's just not going to be the same chat.
Anyway, hit us up, right? Let us know what you liked, didn't like, what do you want to see next, and a big shout out to everyone listening, everyone on the call. Thank you for jumping on.
Appreciate you, ladies.
Hope you had
Thank you
fun. We might have poked a few buttons, but that's, you know, we're supposed to be a little provocative here.
I didn't even get into the psychological effects of wearing makeup. Do women actually think they're at 8, 9, or a 10 now because they have this makeup on? That's one thing I didn't get to mention, but I have had a lot of guys voice that is an aspect of it that irritates them, is the psychologicals. Like, this chick really thinks she's the bitch on Instagram. That's not really you, ma, but that's the attitude you have, but it's not what you actually are. So I think a lot of guys are a little pissed about that.
Feels like you're trying to segue into another topic.
No, we're done. I'm just saying, I apologize for not getting in there earlier, that there is definitely a psychological aspect to it that affects young girls. And it also affects women's behavior because they start to really think that that's them. They're that bitch. If everybody treats them that way when they wear makeup and they only come out with the makeup, then they think that they're that chick, and they're that much better than, say, that guy. And that guy's like, you ain't better than me. So anyhow, that's just a complaint from guys. And I do commiserate with them. Commiserate with them.
Yeah, something like that, right?
But also, if I could make a suggestion, because I do want guys to always take something from every particular stream that they can go apply in real life, is to get better at having these conversations with a woman. Ask her, you know, how do you feel? How does, you know, this makeup make you feel, and so on and so forth. And guys that are dating girls, or if you're meeting a girl on a date, you need to acknowledge the effort immediately, or not immediately, but at some point in the time in the date, you need to acknowledge the effort that she put in. It's very important. A lot of guys, they actually fuck themselves up by not doing that, and they don't even realize it. They're oblivious to it, and the woman is thinking, you know what, I really like this guy. I put all this extra effort in. I wore my nice shit, my expensive shit, and he didn't even say anything. He didn't even compliment me. He didn't even acknowledge him. You know what? He doesn't appreciate it. Therefore, he's not worth it. No booty for you. So remember to do that, guys.
Alrighty. So good stuff.
Thank you. We appreciate you, ladies.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. We're
Signing
out of here.
off.
Signing off.
Until next time. Bye.